we're all content creators here. We make content, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. Thoughts on Andrew Tate and Cancellation? Is it fair? What's going on? Thoughts on it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's fair. I mean, I think that I don't think any cancellation is fair. Really, I think that I believe in freedom of speech. I think people should be allowed to speak their view. In regard to Andrew specifically, I mean, he said some kind of contentious things. I think there's a lot of humor in what he talks about. There's a lot of it. He's saying things that are slightly, I think, tongue in cheek. He's taking it slightly further. I don't think it's hard when you look at it to pinpoint exactly what it is that he's actually said that is so horrendous, right? It seems to me, well, I think we all know what happened. It was basically like, one platform buckled, and then the next one's going, oh god, we've got to get rid of this guy, and then the next platform. So no, I don't think it was fair. And actually, I think you'll see on balance, actually, a lot of what he talks about is really helpful to guys. I've seen lots of guys writing comments saying, oh, this shouldn't have happened because he actually encouraged me to lift weights. He's encouraged me to start my own business, to work, to do all this stuff. And yeah, I think it's a shame. I don't think it should have happened, but those guys are resilient and they'll obviously keep going and probably get bigger. So,
no, personally, like just like my guy here says, like no one should get banned in it. Like obviously, I got banned off TikTok recently, and that's really annoying. I didn't really say nothing too crazy, and to be honest, I don't think Andrew said anything that is too obscene. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And I just think it's just unfair that like some demographics like have license to just say whatever, but then some demographics, I've got to hold my tongue. Like it's just like an imbalance in it. So, but I will say this: I think that the Tates are going to be all right. They got a huge fan base. Like they're gonna be all right, like no matter what. So that's what it is. That's what I think anyway.
I feel like I don't think he should have been banned. I don't think anyone should get banned for expressing anything. But I do believe, in my personal opinion, that it was more about his influence. So it's not really what he said, because I kind of feel with great power comes great responsibility. And just if you see, like for me personally, on my episode of Grilling with Andrew, I couldn't come on social media for a month because it was horrible. Like the way people were attacking me, attacking my character for no reason. And that's because it was the influence that Tate had. It's like this culture of, like, I know people call it incel culture, but that's what it is. And I know that the majority of people that he really helped, but for the people that don't quite understand, have the full capacity, they see all this information and take it so wrongly. And that's why like the influence just was so extreme. And I feel like that's why he got banned.
To be fair though, he has sort of spoken. He said to his guys, listen, we're not about hating on people. We're not about, he sort of tried to make that clear. I mean, maybe you could say that's after the fact, he's doing it, but I think there's always been a certain degree of honor really in him and his personal conduct. But I do take your point that there's going to be people watching it that maybe, they maybe take it the wrong way.
And I think as well, like for women, some things were triggering. And I know obviously like the kink video that everyone saw that looked like domestic violence. So it's easy to also take clips from the internet and run with your own agenda and narrative with things. But at the same time, for people that aren't educated in that, I can see how it could be triggering. And I kind of feel social media platforms have a responsibility to filter things out and have to like block them. But Andrew should come back on social media though.
Yeah, for real. Big men sing, like for me, you kind of said kind of what I was thinking as well. Like I did like a video about it. So go check out my YouTube, Rev. Big men sing. But yeah, I didn't think he should have been banned because me personally, I've said this a few times before. I kind of like to get a balanced view on everybody's opinion. Like I feel like I like to hear what everybody thinks. Like there's a lot of people that I listen to on YouTube. I'm not going to say their name, bro, before the Matrix locks me out of the team. But you know what I mean? There's a lot of controversial people that I listen to on social media, a lot of them. And to be fair, like this is aside from Andrew. I know I'm going off tangent or whatever, but there's even people that like, big up Andrew, by the way, but there's people on social media that I may not have like been a fan of or like their message of just a clip. And then I deep dived into what they were saying and I was like, oh, they got some good points. There's a lot of people like that. Yeah. And there's a lot of people on social media where you'll find a lot of gems in what they're saying. Yeah. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I feel like when you try and shut out someone or shut out what somebody's trying to say, it actually makes people even more curious to what you're trying to hide. Yep. So for me personally, it's almost like random again. I keep on going off things. It's almost like the Kevin Samuels thing. Like I really started listening to Kevin Samuels, for example, towards the end Like when he was a big, I didn't really listen to much of him when people was talking about him. But then when I started listening to him, the shit that I really kind of gravitated to was the shit he was saying about black men and leveling up and getting your shit together. That was quite what the message was to me. Now, if they just locked him off because of some of the things that people didn't like, I may not have been able to get them gems, and a lot of people wouldn't have been educated on some of the things that he said. Do you know what I'm trying to say? My thing is this, like, and this is always going to be my point. This is back to Andrew Tate. Like, if you don't like what somebody's saying, then you don't have to watch it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But ultimately, like, social media platforms, like, we don't own them. We're just users on them. So they get to dictate their terms and whatever the fuck they want to do. Do you know what I'm going to say? So they ultimately are always going to protect their users. But like I said, going back to that, I do feel like people should be open to express how they feel, because you could learn from that. And if you don't like that, turn that shit off, bruv.
Yeah. I think there's a more general problem here and probably in the States as well of like people are just so worried about getting offended. Do you know what I mean? There's this whole culture of we can't offend anybody. And if anybody gets offended, that's such a terrible thing. So we've got to shut down anybody who might be offensive. And I don't think that's a good way for the culture to go, really.
There's
got to be limits, I suppose.
It's kind of like, for example, let's say you don't like watching what he says. Just don't watch it. Like, watch something else. So it's like, but I get it. His influence was very high. So like they wanted to take him down. But it just sucks because his message was really good as well.
Yeah.